Welcome into our final Kardashians live recap. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright, joined by Zachary Reality. Zach, can you believe that we are already finished with season one of the new and improved Kardashians on Hulu?
Oh my God. New and improved, Morgan. I mean, new definitely makes sense. Improved, not so much. It definitely was a pretty fast season. 10 episodes is pretty short. I'm pretty sure we all are assuming they're going to come back for season two sometime later in the year and that, they've already started filming that. So I don't know if more episodes will be in future seasons, but this season definitely felt pretty short, but I'm kind of glad it's over too.
Yeah, of course, we will get into, comparing this new show to the original Keeping Up with the Kardashians at the end of the episode. But we do want to remind you before we jump into the finale, if you have not yet, please subscribe to our channel, ring the bell so you don't miss out on any Kardashian updates. You can also leave us some comments, some questions. We could get to them at the end of this video if we have time. But let's just go ahead and jump right into episode 10. This was the season finale. And this episode was all about Khloe Kardashian and the revelation that came to light about Tristan having a child with a personal trainer by the name of Maralee Nichols. We're starting just at the beginning of the episode, we kind of left, or we pick up where we left off in episode 9, and that is the moment Khloe found out from Kim. They were then supposed to have this big meeting to discuss it, in which Khloe does not show up. How do we feel about Khloe not showing up to the family meeting? Were you surprised by that?
I mean, the family meeting was called to rally for Khloe and like give her support and love. I don't think that she showed up because she was still heartbroken. She was blindsided. She was upset. I feel like she just needed an extra day or two to process. Like, of course, she knew her sisters, her mom, and Corey were going to support her, but it's like Kendall didn't show up, Kylie didn't show up, Scott didn't show up, Mason didn't show up. So it's not like Khloe was the only one that didn't show up. So let's give her a little bit of credit.
Yeah, and I mean, even later in the episode, she says, like, I needed some time. I wasn't ready to hear all of my family's opinions. And we know that even though the family is so supportive of Khloe, they definitely all have opinions. We saw them coming from Kim. We heard them coming from Kylie on the
Hmm.
phone, like, what did Kylie say? Is Tristan like the worst person ever? And then, Kim was saying it's abundantly clear that it's time for Khloe to walk away. So I feel like, yes, Khloe definitely needed a little time to herself. But something I found super interesting and maybe a bit of a viral moment from this episode is Kim in that family meeting talking about how they always take the high road, even though sometimes she does not want to. She's like, I have screenshots for everything, and sometimes I really just want to let it all out there. Do you ever wish that Kim
Hmm.
would like pop off sometimes? Because I personally do. I'm listen, I love that they take the high road. I love that they can do that. But also in situations like this, when you have Tristan Thompson continuing to betray your sister, like pop off, Kim. We would all rally behind you.
I think it'll be okay for her to pop off once in a while. I mean, you see with Kanye, like Kanye was poking her for a while and instigating things, and eventually she had to put her foot down in a very classy, mature way and be like, "No, you did see the kids. Stop harassing us on social media. This is
Mhm.
not true. This is the narrative." So, I do think Kim will does stand up for herself when it's necessary, but I also think that she's so much better than this like petty BS, and she just doesn't want to engage with the immaturity and the toxicity of so many people, including Tristan. So I understand that it is sometimes harder to take the high road, but it's also easier because then you don't have to deal with the headache of engaging with someone who's so toxic and annoying. And like, I think that goes for like all of their friends that they don't talk to and stuff. So I think Kim does step in when she has to. And, I wouldn't be opposed to her stepping in a little bit more, but it's also just not worth it. I mean, think of how much energy she's saving and putting into her businesses and her family, and that's thriving right now. And, people are always going to be jealous of people who are succeeding and happy.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Kim doesn't get into the petty drama when it comes to putting people like Tristan on blast. Although there was a conversation between her and Khloe later in the episode where Kim was discussing whether or not she should unfollow Tristan Thompson. Do you think Kim should have hit the block button, hit the unfollow button?
Yes. I think that she should first maybe hit the mute button like
Yeah.
first because like at least that's like all right, you're still following but you're not seeing. Not that Tristan posts very often, but Kim, she follows like I don't know 100 people or less, so she really likes to keep it super tight, that list. I think she still follows him, Morgan, like to this day. So I think that she just wants to keep the peace, but she should have never followed him back, I think, after the first time.
Mm. Yeah, and I thought, when it comes to Tristan, I thought it was really sad to see all of the home videos of Tristan. We saw it looked like cell phone videos of Tristan and True and Khloe, and
Mhm.
we see a little bit more of what their home life was like behind the scenes. And I think Kim really said it best when she had her moment kind of talking to the internet trolls. You do what you can do to keep your family together, and I loved this moment from Kim. She is so protective over Khloe, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. But do you think that it's fair for people to criticize Khloe for her choices when it comes to Tristan?
I think that people are entitled to give their opinion because they are public figures and this is playing out in the public on a reality show. So I do think everyone is allowed to give their opinion, and I'm about to give my opinion on it right now, but I don't think it's fair to like berate her and like make her feel bad about herself and like really just like diminish her and throw her under the bus. I think you can give your opinion and leave it like that. So I don't think she deserves all the criticism, hate, and like the names she's going to be called. I think you could say in a respectful way, and this is my opinion, that she should have never taken him back after he cheated on her the night before she gave birth. For me, that was enough. I'm done. I see your true colors. Let's co parent peacefully. I'm never getting back with you. I don't care if there's a baby. But then again, like, you really just don't know until you're in that situation. I don't have a baby. I don't have a partner like that. So it's like, how would I even know how to feel until I'm Khloe and gone
Yeah.
through that? So it's like you can give your opinion, but it's also like you truly can never understand anyone's life because you just don't know what it's like.
Yeah. And I feel like, we don't really see the ways that Tristan tried to win her back. Of course, we hear them all
Mm-hmm.
talking about it, how they all thought Tristan was a changed person, how he really, was doing the work to win Chloe's trust back. We don't see a lot of Tristan on the show. So I think sometimes it might be harder for a viewer to really grasp that he did manipulate Khloe. He did, he's a narcissist. I'm just going to say that. I
He
know
is.
that that is a bit
Mm-hmm.
strong. But having dealt with narcissists in the past, they're very manipulative, and when you have a child involved, I think, like Kim said, it's a lot harder, to try to work things out, but you do it for your family. So I just don't like that people put Khloe down for that and act like it's her fault that Tristan cheated on her. Like, it's not her fault that Tristan makes these decisions. And in this episode, we see a lot of conversations between Kim and Khloe specifically. And we touched on it
Mm-hmm.
earlier. Kim is very protective of Khloe. Here, Kim is at Khloe's house. We see them talking in the trailer at their Hulu promotional shoot. How important do you think Kim's relationship is with Khloe in helping her navigate another betrayal from Tristan?
I mean, there's really nobody that went through it more than Kim. Like, obviously, Courtney had her relationship issues with Scott, but I think that's a little different than what Kim went through with her three marriages. And now, so I think that they just really have each other's back. People have always said in the family that, like, Kim is the one you go to for relationship advice. And I think that Kim really was so supportive and protective of Khloe. And I liked how Khloe said at the end of the episode, she's like, my sisters are my soulmates and my mom, as long as I have them, I hope to fall in love one day, but it's like as long as I have them, I have this built-in support system that I will be fine. And I just really loved how Khloe handled it. And I think the reason she handled it so well is because this has been done before. So it's almost like it doesn't hurt anymore after the third time or the fourth time, as it's gonna hurt as much the first and the second time. Because the second time it's like, damn it, I gave him one more shot. So I think she was just really content. And she also said, like, the names she knew to get the house by herself. So, like, she low key knew, her gut knew, because, she kind of says she's very intuitive and stuff. Her gut knew deep down that this was going to happen, which is really unfortunate. So I think that's kind of why she was able to take it the way she did. And it was a really mature approach. And I mean, do you think she's gonna stick by it, Morgan? Because there's 17 more years, or 12, 14, whatever, however many years until True goes to college.
Yeah. I honestly think that she will. I mean, she even said, around this point of the episode, you decide what did she say? Something about how like you're the only person that can decide this person can no longer treat me this way, right? So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
she's finally had that realization.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't completely understand, but I do see where she was coming from when she's trying to keep her family together. I believe that she probably wanted to grow her family with Tristan. And when he's doing all these things to prove to her that he was a changed person and you're only seeing one side of the coin, so to speak. I mean, it's just deceit at its highest level. And Khloe says it a lot in this episode, but I'm really hoping that Khloe is moving on to bigger and better things. I think she has one of the biggest hearts. She's so loving. She's so
Mm-hmm.
generous. I feel like she does have a lot to offer somebody. So hopefully we are done talking about Tristan Thompson for now and forever more. You guys let us know what you think in the comments about Khloe and Tristan in this episode when it comes to those two, because we are going to move on from this particular storyline to Kendall Jenner, all about her health and
Kendall?
wellness. What is up with Kendall and like randomly them throwing in that she's obsessed with health and wellness? This keeps getting randomly thrown into episodes. What do you make of this?
Is this like a sign that she's gonna come out with her own poosh, like her own health and wellness
Yeah.
journey? I think the thing is that Kendall is not a reality star. She never has been, she never will be. She's an awful reality star. But I think that because she is a Kardashian, even though she's a Jenner, and Kylie is unavailable this season because I think she really wanted to be private, they kind of just wanted to throw Kendall in as much as possible to kind of carry the Kylie and Kendall duo. So I think that's kind of why it's coming off so awkward. Now, I don't know if they cut Kylie out because of the pregnancy, because of the Travis Scott situation, or maybe both. But it's really just making more weight for Kendall to carry. And I do think, Morgan, that Kendall did give us a little bit this season. You know, she gave us Cucumber Gate. She gave us that fight with Scott. Her and Haley in Miami was like a super interesting thing to talk about. So I do think she gave us some interesting moments, but I think it's just awkward because she's just not a reality star. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can tell that she doesn't really want to be there. But my prediction definitely is that Kendall's next business venture is going to be something in the health and wellness space. Otherwise, why do you randomly keep mentioning that you're so obsessed with your health and your wellness? Something that I also found interesting, because we did see a lot more about their businesses this season. No mention really of Kendall Jenner's tequila company 818. It's kind of been surrounded with controversy for a while. Do you think that's why they maybe stayed away from it, or were you hoping to see a little bit more when it comes to that business?
I mean, that's possible. I mean, I did notice she was wearing an 818 shirt when she was fighting with Scott and Cucumber Gate, her two biggest
Oh, true,
moments on
true.
the season. So I do think she's promoting 818 in that way. So nonchalant, Morgan, right? Like just wearing my business
Yeah.
on a camera, on TV. I do think it's possible that because there was 818 controversy, and I also think it's just not Kendall to maybe kind of throw it in our. I mean, it's not even like she would is throwing it in our faces if she shares her business. I mean, like she's just taking us in. I mean, it's just different because she doesn't have that main character role. Like Kim, Courtney, Khloe, they are the housewives. Kendall and Kylie,
Yeah.
they're the friend ofs. So it's just like we're not going to focus too much on their businesses because they're just secondary characters.
Yeah, something else we saw a very short snippet of, very similar to Kendall and her health and wellness jersey, was the Christmas card. We saw
Hmm.
probably 3 minutes of Kim shooting an iconic piece of Kardashian history. Like I said, it was a blip in the episode. No Courtney, no Kendall, no
Of
Kylie.
course.
Do you think it's time for Kim and the rest of the Kardashians to give up the Christmas card?
It's been time. It was time when they fought about it a few years ago. I mean, I love that they are a family and want to stick together, and it's like whoever shows up, show up. But it's like, I think most families, they just do the Christmas card with their immediate families. So Courtney and Travis will do something and like do the Barkers, and then Kylie will do something with Stormy, and then Kim with her kids. But it's just like they do these photo shoots. Whoever is able to show up, show up. I'm glad that there's less drama around the Christmas card. I feel like they've all just like kind of settled that it's just not, it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, truly. It's not this huge I mean, I remember in the earlier days they would go
Mm-hmm.
all out with different themes and it was like a whole day's worth of photo shoots, but ever since that humongous fight between Kim and Courtney, it looks more like this where whoever wants to show up shows up. And
Yeah.
speaking of Kim, another big part of this episode, we do get some Pete Davidson talk in this episode. And it first comes up with Scott and Khloe. Khloe goes over to Scott's house because she's feeling a little bit down. And she's like, Scott always lifts my spirits just because we get along so well. And then Scott starts talking about his budding friendship with Kim's new boyfriend, Pete Davidson. Do we
Mm-hmm.
think that Scott wants to be friends with Pete to stay tight with the family? Or do you think that this is a genuine friendship between the two of them?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, Scott was really close with Rob. He was close with Lamar. He was friends with Kanye. He maybe wants to be friends with Travis and Tristan. I mean, I think Scott just needs friends, Morgan. Like, I don't think that
Yeah.
he has a lot of genuine friends. I think that a lot of people probably use him, and then he probably likes to just party with people. I mean, it feels like Scott still is like 25, but it was a little bit like, oh, Pete's amazing. We got coffee. We did this. We did that. Oh my God. It felt like a little fangirly. And I think that Scott will do anything to stay in the family. I think he loves them, but I also think there is a little bit motives of like, I gotta stay in the show. That's getting my
Yeah.
paycheck. I don't want to be alone. I'm scared to be alone. So, hopefully he's really bonding with Pete for real. Either way, it's a beautiful thing that him and Pete are bonding because he cares so much about Kim. So, regardless of the motives, it's still a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and the second time we see or even hear Pete Davidson is at the end of the episode after the credits are already rolling. So a lot of people missed this moment because they thought the show was over. We see Kim talking to a producer, but then Pete is a background, and we actually have a clip of the moment. So we're going to take a look at
Ooh,
that now.
Pete, come here.
okay,
You
let's
have to
see it.
meet Paxi. Paxi has worked with me as audio 14 years from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She knows everything about me. She's probably seen my vagina. Not more than you, but she's probably seen it. What? You haven't seen my vagina? Oh. Hmm. We'll get there. Takes time to warm up to seeing my vagina. But you could look on the internet. I'm just kidding.
Okay, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson kind of getting a little flirty behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
How genuine
Who's
do you think this
Paxi?
moment was?
That's very genuine. I think that was very genuine and cute. But who's Paxi, Morgan? I haven't met Paxi yet.
I think it was just it's either a visual producer, audio producer. She did say that it was somebody who was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, so definitely a crew member. Which is also funny because I thought about it. Remember they had that big announcement on Keeping Up with the Kardashians when they told their crew, and they were all crying
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, we're never gonna see each other again. And now we're learning that it's some of the same crew that worked on the other show. So I just
Yeah.
thought that was funny. But also I felt like this moment was a little forced, to be completely honest with you. And maybe it was because they just want to give us some peak content, but it's like, really, out of all the things that you're going to give us, it's Kim talking about her vagina with Pete and Paxi. I don't know if it's maybe giving Kravis energy. And
Ooh.
I'm trying to come around to Key. I really, truly am. I do love that Kim seems a lot more relaxed with Pete. But I'm just having trouble getting on board. I promise I'm trying not to be a hater. But what was
Yeah.
your reaction when you saw this moment?
No, I actually think it was genuine. I think that there's so many moments that they film where they're just talking and they're not like on like answering questions. So I felt like this was kind of one of those off-camera genuine moments. I don't believe that Paxi hasn't seen Kim's vagina just because like it truly is like one of the most iconic sex tapes of all time. I've watched the sex tape. Like I've seen it. Not for a long time. Probably was a teenager when I watched it. So I think it's kind of funny that Kim like makes fun of herself and laughs at herself. And they did give us that Pete moment, and I do think he's going to be a part of season 2. Like I really do. I'm pretty sure they've like already filmed season 2, or they've started, and it's like they're filming now probably. So I can't wait for the next season. And I think Pete will be a main character, and Tristan will be nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I mean, Pete is no longer doing Saturday Night Live, so he kind of freed up his
Hmm.
schedule to maybe start filming with Kim full time. But we'll get into predictions in a little bit because we do have one more clip that was kind of similar to this, where it's like breaking fourth wall, they call it in the show business. And this comes from
Hmm.
Kris Jenner, who is in the middle of reading a family group text. Let's take a look at this clip.
Hold on. What's happening? Oh my God. If you could see what's going on in my family.
Well, I would love to with a camera.
To be continued. Of course.
Cliffhanger. I mean, predictions on what Kris is talking about here.
Oh my God. I don't even know. I think it could be exaggerated to like get us excited for next season. But Morgan, you're the expert. Like you probably know more about the Kardashians than me. So what do you think?
Honestly, I tried to read her facial expressions like a couple times when I was watching this. At first, it looked like something bad, but then she's kind of like giggling and laughing. So I can't really pick up the vibe that she's giving off,
Wait,
and
Kylie. What if it's Kylie water broke?
oh. Oh yeah, that could be it. Do you think that they would disclose that information over group text?
Maybe like I mean, it's not like she's sharing it with the world, right? Like she didn't share it with us. Like
Yeah.
I think Kylie just texted the group like, "Hey, my water broke. I'm going into the hospital." It makes sense, but the timing of like her decorating the nursery and her stopping filming and all that.
Yeah. I think maybe it could potentially be Kanye related. I think it
Ooh.
may potentially be Pete related. I think it may potentially be Courtney fake wedding related. I honestly have
Ooh.
no idea. But do you think that this is a good teaser for the next season? Are you invested? Are you excited for season 2 now that we kind of have one season under our belt?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a cute teaser. I liked the Kim and Pete teaser. I think that was cute. I mean, obviously Khloe, like there is a lot of like there's a lot more to see, and like I am invested in the storylines. I'm invested in all of their relationships and Chloe's personal growth and Kim. So I definitely will be watching next season. I am excited about it. And I mean, something I want next season is a little bit more sister fights. Like I love when they're friends and they make up, but like you got to see like the drama to like love the resolution. And there was zero, Morgan, zero sister fights this season. Was there one? Like the only
Yeah.
fight was Scott and Kendall. Like the most entertaining moments of the Kardashians over the years was Courtney versus Kim, Courtney versus Khloe, Kim versus Khloe, the bag. Like those are my favorite moments on the show because they are
Yeah.
lighthearted and they are funny.
Yeah, I feel like if anybody was getting close to that, it would be Courtney. She was upset with her sisters
Hmm.
for making her engagement about Scott. She was upset, in the moment at producers, but we didn't see, like you said, a blow up
Hmm.
fight. I feel like Courtney, even though she was upset with some things, she kept it calm, she kept it cool. Maybe that's because of her new
Yeah.
relationship with Travis. But before we get into the season overall, we have to do our MVP and LVP of the episode, most valuable and least valuable.
Ooh. The episode or the season though? Because this
We're
is
going
the
to do the
finale.
episode now, and then we're going to do the season later.
Okay. I mean, I think Chloe kind of like carried this episode as far as like content. Like her storyline really got everybody invested. So I will say that like she overall like brought it, even though it was like tragic. And then literally F Tristan Trashton Thompson, like the worst, like the
Yeah.
narcissist, the cheater, the liar, the manipulator, the user, the abuser, like just really, really low. He just never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Chloe's definitely the MVP. Tristan is definitely a LVP. I also think that Kendall is kind of an LVP because I just hate that they keep throwing random Kendall bits into these episodes. But now that the first season is all said and done, overall, is there a difference between the Kardashians and Keeping Up? Do you like one more than the other? What are your overall thoughts on the new show compared to the old one?
There's definitely a difference. It's more realistic, it's more docu-series, it's following their lives, it's different cameras, it's a different vibe. So there is a huge difference. I do think not only is it different because it's Hulu, but it's also a new generation. It's a new era of the Kardashians. It's a new era of TV. It's a new era of streaming shows, docu-series, reality TV. So I think there's so many differences, and it's hard to say if it's for better or worse because part of me feels like we've been watching them for 20 years, so it's kind of like nice and fun to watch other shows that haven't been
Yeah.
around as long that are getting me more excited. So either way, I'll always watch the Kardashians. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the major difference is honestly just where they are in their careers. You know, we watched on Keeping Up them really rise to fame, and now they're really on the top of the mountain when it comes to that. They're starting all these businesses. You know, they have their lives together in some aspects. Of course, none of us ever have everything together. But I think it is interesting to see their businesses. And at first, I wasn't excited about that because they did tease that a lot before the season came out. And I was like, I don't care about your guys' businesses. But, you know, seeing Khloe in her element in Good American, seeing Kim's prep for SNL, you know, seeing Courtney collab with Gwyneth Paltrow for Poosh, I really did
Hmm.
enjoy all of those moments. Do we have any predictions for next season other than Pete being on it?
Um, I hope that the Kravis wedding was filmed. Like, I'm sure that it's not like the whole thing will be filmed, but I'm hoping to see parts of it. Like, there has to be like a clip or like an
Yeah.
episode about it. So that would be so fun. And I also really want to see Khloe dating. Like, have her get
Yes.
set up on a date. Like, even if it's a fake date for TV, because like, come on, it's like it's a show. Just, I want to see her on a date with a guy that she didn't know. She was set up by Malika. She was set up by Kim. And I want to see more parties next season, more characters. I know that this could have been filmed partially in COVID, so people were a little bit more quarantined, but I want to see more events next season. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say all of those predictions I would agree with. Definitely the Kravis wedding. I want to see Chloe go on a date. I don't know predictions for next season. I really enjoyed the balance this year, you know, of serious and then lighthearted and funny. Even this time, even in this last episode with Chris and Courtney and Travis recording the Christmas song, I thought was pretty funny. So overall, I really did enjoy it. I do also really like that it's only 10 episodes because I don't feel overwhelmed. I feel like they're not kind of reaching. Sometimes they reach, but it's not like, you
Hmm.
know, three filler episodes for one episode of drama. So I like that they keep it a
Yeah.
little bit shorter. To wrap things up, let's do it. The MVP and the LVP of the whole entire season. Who do you got?
It's Kim's show. It's always been Kim's show. She's the center. She is the art. She is the sister that brings it together. So it's, of course, going to be Kim. She brought the most. And then I would say the LVP is Kylie. She really disappointed us. She did not show up. Maybe it was edited out. We don't know that. So we kind of have to judge what was on the episodes. Kylie gave us nothing this season. She showed up maybe 2 episodes out of the 10. She did grocery shopping. She drove to the engagement. Super disappointing because I love Kylie and I feel most connected to her in a lot of ways because she's my age. So it's just, it was a little unfortunate, Kylie. I wanted to see more from you. Morgan, what about you? Who do you think?
I agree with your LVP, Kylie. I mean, she just wasn't in the show. And like you said, whether it's because of all of the Astro World drama that was going on, or if she just wanted to stay low key during her pregnancy, if you're not going to be on the show, don't be in the promotional teaser for it. Don't be on the cover
Fair
for
enough.
it. You were
We
not
were
there.
duped.
So yeah, we were. My MVP, honestly, I'm gonna go with Chloe because Khloe made me feel the most as a viewer. I feel like I really went on a journey with her this season. I was
Aw.
celebrating her in her moments of triumph. I was feeling very sad for her in her, moments of weakness and sadness. So I feel like Khloe got the most out of me emotionally, which means that I'm the most connected to her. So my MVP for this season is Khloe.
I love that. We love Khloe. She really just knows how to emotionally connect viewers.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, we'll give a participation trophy to Courtney because we know she hates
Yes.
filming. We know she really does not want to be there, but she did give us a lot of content when it comes to her standards, with her IVF journey, with her getting engaged to Travis, her new relationship. So Courtney gets the participation trophy for this season.
Fair enough. She did give us a lot. She gave us an engagement.
Yes. Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining our final live for the Kardashians recap. You can always leave your thoughts, your comments, your questions in the comment section down below. We love to hear from you. Please make sure before you leave, you subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. We will still be talking about
Mhm.
all things Kardashians, even though season 1 is in the books. You can also come say hi to Zachary and I on our social media pages. We are also constantly keeping our finger on the pulse of all things pop culture, Kardashians, Bachelor, you name it. We have it for you. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you back next time. Bye.
See ya.